All right, so the other day I was listening to a video of another kind of fitness, I don't know, call it guru or whatever, talking about fat loss and weight loss and why a lot of people don't succeed. He was talking about like the number one reason why most people don't actually achieve their goals. And to get right to the point, he was saying that a lot of people were in denial about what it was they were eating. A lot of times you hear people say, well, I'm working out like crazy and I'm not barely eating anything and I'm not dropping any weight, nothing's changing, I'm getting so frustrated. And then you find out that if you really, get to the meat of it, you say, have you actually been really tracking? Are you making sure you're in a deficit? And you'll find out that, while they might do good a few days a week, there's that, slip up here, slip up there. And by the time they, get through the whole week, they've just basically been in a deficit or in a surplus all week. Or at the very least, they're maintaining. You can't lose body fat unless you create a deficit, a negative energy balance. Exercise is only one way to go about doing that, and it's not super effective if you don't do a lot of it, in the sense that as far as creating an energy deficit alone. So remember, there's a lot of benefits with exercise that are not related necessarily to weight loss. Strength, bone density. You have a lot of different chemicals that are produced in your body when you work out that are good for our health and immune system. There's all sorts of benefits. But as far as weight loss is concerned, you think about it, you eat one bad meal, and that one meal is akin to like sometimes doing 2 or 3 really hard workouts. And if you're only doing 2 or 3 hard workouts a week, you can see how it ends up not really being in a place where you're actually achieving fat loss or reaching an ideal weight. So all the lessons we talk about in class, like the meal planning and the volumetrics and all this kind of stuff, are all really trying to help figure out a way to help people eat less, or to absorb less. We talked about how when I say eat less, I don't mean less food, but less calories, right? You guys that have watched our other lessons, we talked about how you can eat a lot of food, but you have to still create a energy deficit. So the only way to really get this to happen is you have to, if your maintenance is, let's say 1,800 calories, you have to eat under that, or you have to, let's say you eat 1,800, you have to burn through physical activity maybe another 300 to 500 calories to create that deficit, right? So you can see how exercise and diet are both play an important role. The nice thing about doing more exercise is you can eat more. I was watching a video this week. This is by a different guy, and on the same topic though. And he was talking about how many people don't realize how important cardio, so to speak, cardio meaning that kind of longer duration, sweaty, breathing hard type of exercise, is really important for fat loss. A lot of people will, especially guys tend to like to do weights, but they don't like to do cardio. And oftentimes it's the opposite with girls, not always. But again, if you're not getting the right kind of exercise too, if you're just lifting weights, or you're not really getting in enough of the physical activity to create that large deficit, then part of the reason it's so difficult to stick to your diet is because you can't eat too much. So if you're one of those people where you feel like you barely get to eat anything at all, then you're either eating the wrong food, or you're not getting enough activity. And so you need to try to figure out a way to change the type of food that you eat and increase your activity level in whatever way possible. If you're not tracking anything at all, like you have no idea how many calories you're eating, then I would say that'd be the first place to start. Remember that I had the meal plan here the other day for those of you that were watching, and we had a real simple template to follow that gives you some guidelines to help you keep yourself in a calorie deficit as you go through the day. There's specific kinds of meals that you're going to want to try to eat, specific kinds of portions and so on, that will help you stay on track. So if you weren't here for that, I think Tanya was going to send that video out again as far as the template, so people can watch that if you weren't here for that. But yeah, that's my spiel. Have a good night, good day, morning, wherever.